what impact does the district's focus on standardized testing have on students, and what policies and practices would you support to ensure meaningful learning opportunities and experiences for all students?
The emphasis on standardized testing is terrible for kids' morale, particularly I think at the elementary level. Those 3rd and 4th grade tests, when they're so little and they're having to take on the stress of a 4-hour test that their teachers, even when teachers I think try to do their best in de-emphasizing the importance of the test, kids pick up on it. I hear that from across the board from parents, even when teachers are doing their best to not stress about it. We can advocate at the legislature for reduced testing environment, but at the local level, what we can do is continue supporting our teachers and giving them the freedom to teach how they want to, and really provide a robust curriculum in the classroom. I think that culture needs to be a top-down culture, and that is something that the board can emphasize in putting in different metrics within the scorecard. We already have a variety of metrics, so maintaining that and continuing the emphasis on kind of whole child metrics.
Thank you. Excellent. And the same question falls to, I'm so sorry, excuse me. The same question falls to Piper.
We hear about kids that in 3rd and 4th grade are completely stressed out by standardized testing, and that's not fair. It doesn't make sense. I think that AISD really needs to push back, honestly. I think that we like to keep Austin weird, don't we? We like to do things our own way. Why isn't this another place where we could make sure that people know that the rules that are being put down are bull, and they don't work for our kids and they don't work for our teachers? There are so many ways that we could be testing kids and testing what is going on in our schools. And there are so many kids for whom standardized testing does not work. So how about we're looking at alternative things? How about we're looking at the way that a kid expresses themselves in theater, or the way that a kid is able to write an essay in a different language, but looking at alternative ways of measuring. And I think the other piece about this is that when you look at the ways that kids are being taught to the test in different schools, it's very different based on the school. Because if you've got a school that's struggling, they're going to be teaching much more to the test, and those kids aren't going to be able to get the more the fun topics, the more creative learning, because those teachers are scared. They're being told, we got to get this done and you got to make this happen. And that creates a fear-based learning, which is not trauma-informed. It doesn't work for kids. Whereas other schools, it's much more lax. You've got less rigidity around those metrics, because they know that they're okay. And that means that kids are being able to learn in different ways. And that sort of disparity is another piece of inequity in our district, in the way that we're looking at those tests.
Excellent. Lynn, the same question.
Yes, I think we first start by pushing back against the state of Texas by some bravery within Austin ISD to advocate and to speak up for what we know is best for children. High-stakes standardized tests do not make education better. I do not have an opposition to measuring what's happening. When we didn't measure enough, our most vulnerable kids fell through the cracks. There were gaps and no one was paying attention. I'm not opposed to measuring. I am absolutely opposed to high stakes measuring, and I think we need to fight that. I think we also need to fight a culture in Austin ISD that over relies on test scores. We talk about all means all, we talk about SEL, we talk about whole child, and yet again and again, principals are measured and rewarded for test scores over other things. I think we also need to acknowledge that our testing culture is an equity issue. At my children's elementary school campus, I was told by a principal the main reason we care about our test scores is because of the freedom that it gives us to do what we know is right, to teach in the ways that we know are healthy. A campus that has the pressure of test scores, where that is the most important thing happening on that campus, doesn't have that freedom. And children lose out on electives. Children are double blocked in middle school to take, more test prep. After school programs that could be a rich source of learning and discovery and joy, or just free time and play, often become more time for more test prep. And then we wonder, why children don't love school, why children feel like they're failing, and why teachers are leaving, because this is a quality of life issue for our teachers too. Our teachers know how to teach. And I think, this is our system. This is the system that we have to work within. But I think we push back. I think we reduce the importance of that we place on that system within the culture of Austin ISD. And I think we fight back as hard as we can.